Hi everyone, I'm Archana Thani, Managing Editor at Vogue India. Welcome to day 2 of the Vogue India Natural Diamond Council Diamond Fest 2022. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with a true tastemaker. Her shirt blouses are impeccable and her saris even more so. She pairs both of these beautifully with her everyday diamonds, and I am so excited to be speaking with her today. Join me in welcoming Deepshikha Khanna, creative head of Flow by Good Earth, in conversations with us today on everything natural diamonds. Let me add her in. If you guys do not follow Daily Style Matters, her personal Instagram account, I would suggest you do so. It has some of the most best outfit and jewelry inspiration on there. Let's just double check. She should be joining very soon. Oh, I'm taking a look at the comments here. Thank you so much. So this is actually my cousin's diamond necklace that I've just paired with like my gold chains, and I style this up, and I never take these off, but I just keep adding on as I go. Okay, she's having a little trouble joining us. I'm gonna try one more time. Oh, hi, Deepshikha. Thank you so much for joining us and being in conversation with us today. I'm so excited.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. Sorry, that took a little while to join. I was having a little bit of trouble.
We're such big fans here of how you style your diamonds, and we have so many questions about how you like to wear them, where you source them, and sort of all the personal stories that jewelry pieces. So if you're okay with it, I'd love to just sort of get straight into it.
Sorry, absolutely. You know, you're cutting off a little bit, so I'm going to try to keep up.
How is this? Is this better?
Yeah, this is better.
Okay, great. So what are you wearing today?
So actually, today I'm wearing something really sweet that I picked up from Anu Merton. I don't know if you can see it. It's one of her diamond necklaces that she does. And it's so dainty, but it's so perfect because really, you know, you all know me, I'm a sari and a white shirt person. And so this really seamlessly takes me through both. And then I'm also wearing my old vintage Golconda diamond rings, which I never take off. In fact, I actually replaced my my original wedding rings with these because I felt like they were, you know, they have more heritage, more history, and I find that I connect with them more. So yeah.
I think that's something that you do so beautifully, even with your clothing, where it's taking sort of those vintage textiles and blending them with modern silhouettes. So it's no surprise to me that that's how you sort of incorporate your jewelry style as well. Could you tell me a little bit more about how you started collecting or getting into jewelry?
So yeah, actually, you know, 12 years ago, I moved to Delhi. And honestly, for me, Delhi is such a cultural hub. It sort of changed the way I looked at a lot of things. Indian, obviously, you know, so whether it was jewelry, art, textile, crafts, and my approach to all of this was changed forever. I came at it with really new eyes and had a great appreciation. So obviously, you know, like all of us, I started off with aesthetics, looking at something from an aesthetic point of view, that this is beautiful or not. But then over the years, going deeper into workmanship, tradition, stories, and that's why I think for me, I'm more prone to buying things that are old and antique or vintage versus buying things that are new. And that's also how I developed a love for all things handmade. So, this whole thing about whether it's textile or craft or art, the ability to do something with your hands and the quality of workmanship that comes with it, sort of, you know, makes me want to purchase something. So that's how I sort of started buying jewelry and slowly and steadily built a real little, kitty for myself.
And so did you start building your jewelry box by pieces that you were like, I think this is how I should build it up from a style perspective? Or was it always about the piece and seeing something beautiful and saying, actually, this resonates with me?
So, I started with my first, can you hear me? Like all of us, I started off with my first. Am I audible?
Now you're back.
Sorry. I bought my first pair of diamond earrings from a very dear friend, Pranay. It was about, I had to think about, everybody wants a pair of diamond earrings. And that was sort of, I hadn't been introduced to this whole vintage sort of jewelry section as yet. And he asked me, he said, do you want quality or do you want quantity? And the answer was very clear. I said, I want quality. And so that's when I bought my first pair of earrings. But then after that, I started to look at older pieces and I started to, appreciate the workmanship, but I didn't know enough about it. I was lucky enough to meet Vinay, who is he owns Sri Paramani Jewels. And he's sort of like my guide and somebody I go to. And we've had, it's also the whole process, right, of buying jewelry. In the old days, you would sit down, like how you would buy saris or carpets. The guys would come and you would sit and you would enjoy a cup of chai, and then there would be stories told about ye kiska tha, kahan se aaya, kya hai. So, that whole process is so beautiful. Discovery. So it's like discovery and delight, right? To me, that's my approach to buying anything. And I started then asking him a lot of questions. And poor guy, he would always sit and be like, this is from here, this is from there. So I educated myself in the process and started to build on first buying earrings and bangles and then buying the bigger pieces, how each time you see it. And then you think to yourself, okay, I have all the basic pieces. How do I now build? My thing is, I don't like to match things. I like to mix and match. So I never buy sets, right? I always buy little tukras from here and there. There's more fun and magic in that. So that's sort of how I started building my collection. And I have to say that Vinay has been a real important piece in my collection and my ability to collect.
That's amazing to have someone who can kind of walk you through that process and sort of kind of hold your hand throughout your evolution of style.
Yeah.
Like where you would put that balance. So that's something that you would also recommend to people when it comes to like building their jewelry boxes, starting with their basics and sort of like building up slowly, figuring out what it is you value, what it is you want, because your everyday staples, your everyday diamond jewelry is what you're going to need.
Yeah, so definitely. I think I always choose pieces that are very versatile. Everything that I own, I can literally wear it down, wear it up, depending on what I match it with or what I'm wearing it with in terms of clothing. I think versatility, quality, steeped in tradition. These are some of the filters that I always keep when I'm buying. But the simplest piece, whether it's a little pair of earrings even, I just like to make sure that it can work across many different things. And it can be built up or layered, much like the clothing that I make.
Yeah, I love that. And you mentioned about, asking all these questions whenever you would meet someone, whenever you would go and look to purchase a piece of jewelry. What's one of your favorite jewelry stories?
So I'll tell you that, it's all like anecdotes, right? People pick up from here and there. And so like Vinay will tell me something and he'll say something that somebody else told him. So like one of the pieces that I had bought from him, and actually I have it here if you want me to show it to you. It's
I would
a
love
very
to.
old necklace. It's
Beautiful.
done with silver. And this is a Gujarati work, I think is what it's called. And these are sort of you can, if you see, it has a little bit of like a Victorian or British influence. So he told me that this originally used to be made with silver, and the natural diamonds would be set in silver so that at night when you saw them, they would sparkle and glisten like flowing water, like the shimmering water, which is so interesting, right? One never thinks about
Yeah.
what is in the mind of the maker, what they are expecting that the wearer will perceive it to be. So when you look at all of this, it makes it so much more exciting and interesting to own something. So yeah, that's one lovely story. And then the other one
There's
is the Golconda diamond. Sorry, can you hear me? Am I back
Yes,
on?
I can hear you now. Yes, you're back on.
Okay. The, the other lovely story I heard was how when this person saw the Golconda diamond, he looked at it and he was like, Kohinoor, Kohinoor, like in the sense that this is like so unique, it's one of a kind, and then that's how the name Kohinoor came about, right? So there are all these little stories, and for me, I remember like I did this course in textiles from Jyotinder Jain, who's a historian and a scholar of textile, and he said something to me. He said, question everything. It's a little motif, it's a little shape, it's a material. Question everything, and you'll be delighted by the discovery that comes through the answers and the connections of how it happened and traversed different, you know, continents and then came to you right here in front of you. So yeah, it's I
I find
believe
it so
that,
fascinating
and I always
that in jewelry. Oh,
sorry.
I think the connection is lagging a bit. I just said I find it so fascinating, the stories that come behind jewelry, because it just creates sort of that emotional connection. And every time somebody asks you about a beautiful piece you're wearing, you're like, well, actually, so and so saw this here, or this is the story behind it. And it's those stories that I feel that people really remember.
Yeah, that, and that pieces that are given to you, handed down to you from generation to generation. You may not love them at first, but the stories that unfold are what makes you cherish that particular piece of jewelry.
Do you have any diamond pieces that are really close to your heart?
Uh, do I have any diamond? I didn't inherit as much, so I don't have those stories. And I think that's possibly why my whole process of buying is to make those connections. And I don't have any personal pieces other than, of course, the first thing I bought or the first thing my husband bought for me. Um, there's that emotional connect. But yeah, I don't have any one piece that I particularly feel. I love all my pieces. Every time I look at them, I'm just like, wow, this is so beautiful. I'm so glad it's mine, or that I bought it, or that I thought so carefully about it.
And is that part of your ritual of getting ready? Like you love to change it up all the time, or do you have certain pieces that are your go-to pieces?
Yeah. So I never take off my rings and my earrings. I kind of like find that, you don't have time and you're just always in a rush as a woman, doing a million things. So I never really ever take off my rings and my earrings. But for special occasions, obviously, I'll try and I always start with the smaller pieces and stay with those, because I feel like you don't want to be too overdressed. You want to be just right. And with
Yeah.
something pretty and slightly statement piece, you're good to go. So yeah.
Are there any other like styling tips that you would give to people about particularly wearing like vintage diamonds with your sort of modern aesthetic?
Um, I think, diamonds, because they're so classic, they really can go with anything. You can layer it with other, you know, uh, other materials. You can, like pearls and diamonds, right? The most natural thing on this planet. Um, I just feel like less is more always. So for me, I feel like just to wear that one thing that is very beautiful and let that be the hero.
Yeah,
That's always my styling
definitely.
tip.
Are there any jewelry icons that you love from history, past, present, that you kind of look to and say, that's the style I kind of want to emulate?
Um, I find the one person that wore the simplest thing beautifully was Gayatri Devi. You just put on this one little, she put on this one piece of jewelry, a line of pearls, and there was just so much elegance to her entire demeanor that's all she needed to really pull it all together, right? And that's, I think, a very important um, aspect of styling yourself. Everything has to just be an extension of who you are, as opposed to trying to become somebody by putting and layering on things onto yourself. So yeah, I think Gayatri Devi.
That's, that's great advice. Is there, we actually have some questions from our audience, and I was just wondering if I could maybe ask you that so you could give them a little bit of advice, because you have such wonderful style, and I feel like we really need to share your advice with everyone here. So the first question we have is, what is the best jewelry piece for a round neck blouse?
Yes, I think everything is, cyclical, and all old styles eventually come back, whether it's jewelry or fashion. Every trend makes its way back. So yeah, don't throw away what your parents gave you. You will eventually learn to appreciate it. Um, I always believe when you get something or you're buying something, first get the knowledge, then automatically you will find the appreciation for it, and then you will be able to adopt it into your life. So that's like my three phase of, I always, when I'm doing something, I think of these three things. Um, so yeah, I think vintage jewelry is always around. It's always classic. It'll never go away. It's just you have to find the time and space for it to bring it into your life in the right way.
We have another one that actually came through a different channel. What is the best jewelry piece for a round neck blouse?
Oh, a choker like this.
Choker. Oh my gosh, that is absolutely stunning.
Or I mean, you could, isn't that? It's again English diamonds with pearls. Again from Vinay. He finds these real gems, if I may say so.
My gosh, you're going to have to continue with him. I love those pieces. Okay, now let's see
I
what
would
our
also
next
recommend that
question
maybe
is.
layering along.
The next,
Sorry, we're getting cut off, but go ahead.
I know, I think we're like, so you were just saying, you think even layering along,
Yeah, on a round neck.
is it layering along
Something
necklace on
long
your
is also always pretty.
around? Absolutely.
Yeah.
The other question that we have is, Can I wear a statement mung tika without earrings or a necklace and still stand out?
Yes, it's possible. I don't think you have jewelry. And I only realized it when, it's about, I started making Flow, this brand of clothing that I do for Good Earth. And every time we do our photo shoots, one has this tendency to, add accessories and style it up. But I've always found that actually when something is of good quality and you're dressed with the best fabric and in good fits and styled well, um, you're already elevated. You don't need any accessories to dress that up. You just need your confidence, and that's really all you need. No amount of jewelry can add that for you.
That's really great advice. We are just coming up to time here, but I was wondering if you had any key takeaways for styling everyday diamond jewelry for our audience today.
Um, I would say buy good quality, be conscious of your choices, um, stick to your personal style because that's what it is. It's personal. Don't, don't do what others are doing. Do what you love. And whether it's with diamonds or clothes or art, um, keep it personal and style yourself in the way that you love to see yourself so that you're comfortable. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time, Deepshikha. I really appreciate it. And I'm sure our audience did here as well.
Thank you so much for having me. This was a lot of fun.
And hopefully we get to connect in real life soon because I'd love to see some of those pieces in the flesh.
All right. Bye.
Take care. Have a wonderful day. Bye.